Hello everyone! I've just watched a YouTube video by Jack Howard talking about his favourite films, and I thought I'd do a video sharing my favourite films, and I didn't realise how difficult it would be. I'm just gonna spew a lot of films at you. Spew. I'm like Hermione Granger already. These are basically my kind of top films at the moment, although, you know, they're gonna change, like, in a second. The double, Whiplash, Nightcrawler, Charlie Chaplin films, Cloud Atlas, The Illusionist, which is a film from the same director who directed Belle, Rendezvous, which is also an amazing animation film. Rear Window and Rope. Ratatouille is one of my all-time favourites. Her, because it's fabulous. Forrest Gump, because also fabulous. Touch of Evil, Citizen Kane, Grand Budapest Hotel, Moonrise Kingdom, Schindler's List, 12 Angry Men, Alien, Interstellar, Daredevil TV series, Moulin Rouge, Grave of the Fireflies, Lethal Weapons, 2001 Space Odyssey, The Shining, Hook, Blair Witch Project, Mirrormask, and Captain Phillips. That is a rundown of the films so far. I've probably missed out like 20. You know, one of the films that I really loved quite recently, I watched Richard Ayoade's The Double, starring Jesse Eisenberg, which also stars in Social Network, which is another brilliant film, because the cinematography is very dark and it kind of reminds me of film noir, because a lot of it relies on kind of shadows and stuff, but you've also got scenes of like vibrant colours and stuff, which also kind of it just looks beautiful, and I love the story that kind of reminds me of the film Brazil or The Trial. A director that I've been getting into a lot recently, that I need to watch more of his films, and I just think they're so far amazing, is Wes Anderson, and his Grand Budapest Hotel and Moonrise Kingdom at the top of my list. Simply, I just love Wes Anderson's style. It's really colourful, and the cinematography, you know, symmetry. Moonrise Kingdom is very kind of yellow, browns and greens. Fantastic Mr. Fox is the same but kind of orange, and Grand Budapest Hotel is very reds, purples, blues, pinks, that kind of thing. So the production design I just love in the films because it's so well thought out and colourful, and it just all fits together and it just looks beautiful. Also in his films, I love how he mixes together kind of childishness with kind of serious topics, which I really love. Still got a lot left though. So another actor-director that I really want to mention, and I'm probably going to do a whole new video on this because I just love him so much. Charlie Chaplin. I'm such a fan of Charlie Chaplin. I love all of his films. I think the reason why I love it is obviously different to nowadays. You know, it's black and white, most of them is silent, and a lot of it relies on the actor and not the camera. Most of the time you've just got really long shots from one point of view, and the acting and the physicality of the scene is what drives the whole film. I really liked The Kid, City Lights, Limelight, and The Great Dictator, which is quite a broad range. You know, some of them are very early on and some of them are quite late, like Limelight. I think what fascinates me a lot about them is because how relevant they are to his life and how personal the films are if you really read into them. Yeah, I really like those films. Among the many. Oh my god, I'm losing my brain. Jack was also talking about how he loves the Spider-Man franchise, but a lot of the films aren't on his list because, you know, they're not perfect, and being a super fan of something doesn't necessarily mean that you love everything about it. It means that you can nitpick at the little bits. I found I related to that, not with Spider-Man, but with the Harry Potter franchise. I love the characters and the story and everything so much that I can see everything that's wrong with the films. The films aren't even on my list. I watched 2 yesterday, so what am I talking about? I also find that there are also 2 different types of films. One that you kind of irrationally love, like for me it would be kind of Ratatouille, or Jack said Hook, but also ones that you cinematically love because it just looks beautiful. So Nightcrawler, Alien, films like that, I guess, that you know, aren't the best story, but they just look beautiful, and kind of that's what you love about it. But it's all about taking something away from a film, isn't it? Okay, the next thing I want to mention is Alfred Hitchcock, because, you know, you can't not mention Hitchcock. Brilliant, you know, master of tension, suspense and everything, and I haven't admittedly watched many of his films, but I'm working on it, as you'll see from this bad boy. Look at it. It's so beautiful, I love it so much. I've seen Birds, Shadow of a Doubt, Rope, Rear Window, and Saboteur. I'm working on it. But I really liked Rope and things because of this one scene where the maid is going to put things back into this box, and we know that there's a dead body in that box, but she doesn't, of course. And there's this whole scene, it's just one shot, the camera isn't doing anything, it's just following her from the kitchen to the living room and back again. And the voices and the main conversation is off camera, it's just like to the side somewhere. So you're constantly looking at the box, looking at the maid, you're thinking, you're gonna open that, you're gonna open that. And of course she doesn't open it because she stopped at the last second, but there's just that thing where you're just like, oh no, end it now. But it's so brilliant and it's done so well, and I just really love it a lot. Thank you very much. Cross off the list. A film I watched at the BFI quite recently actually is Orson Welles' Touch of Evil, which I was surprised at because it's such a fantastic film. You know, that kind of era, kind of film noir kind of thing, black and white film. And I hadn't really seen any other of Orson Welles' films at the time. I've now seen Citizen Kane and that's it. But I'm a big fan of Orson Welles, guys. But Touch of Evil was just so... I loved it so much because it you know, relied a lot on shadows. The shots were beautiful. Like, there's a 3.5 minute scene at the beginning that is just one shot and you're basically following this bomb around the city. And that just builds tension and it just adds a whole new dynamic to the scene that is already fantastic. Okay, these are the last films I think that I'm going to mention. Captain Phillips and the Blair Witch Project. Captain Phillips I love because of the direction style and the acting, how Paul Greengrass, the director, he does a few rehearsals but it's mainly improvisation, and the one scene in it where, you know, the pirates meet the crew for the first time is also the first time the actors met each other. There's that dynamic which I love because it's a different way of looking at a scene and how you can get the best out of an actor's performance. So I love the Blair Witch Project because you've got the element of that it's all handheld camera and that kind of drives and the narrative, and it adds tension and suspense, and also kind of breaks down the fourth wall a little bit because we feel closer to the characters that are filmmakers, so that we're more like, is this real? And also the fact that you never see the monster as well. I just think it's a really clever take on filmmaking and how to look at doing things from different point of views. I've also got to mention Mirrormask because many of the elements in it that I love, like kind of circus, kind of growing up film, I guess. Just the art style. It's directed by Dave McKean, who is an artist, I think. I don't know, it's just a really interesting film for production design and kind of animation mixed in and special effects. Yeah, it's fantasy element I really like, and production design. You know what, I think that's it, and I think I've made it too long again, and I'm really worried that I'm gonna have to edit this now. Holy moly! Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm probably gonna do another video about kind of my DVD collection and kind of how I watch films, so look forward to that. I'm probably going to film that soon. Head over to Jack's video. I definitely found there were a lot of films that I liked and a lot of films that I needed to watch because I trust Jack's opinion, I think. I mean, who knows? That was really weird. Sorry, Jack, if you're watching, which would be weird. Alright then, guys. I'll see you next time. So long, suckers. Such a weirdo. Thanks for all the joy they're bringing. Who could live without it? I ask in all honesty. What would life be without a film to watch on a DVD? So I say thank you for the films, for bringing them to me. Seriously, bring me all your DVDs.